Hey, I'm on it. I'm making these videos to answer some questions that pop up every now and then. I'm a Microsoft employee and I work with this very regularly in Azure. And I thought I'd share how I set stuff up, how I do it, what I do, how I think about stuff. This is in no way endorsed by anyone or any company. This is me just talking about stuff in Azure, especially around data. We're going to set up the data factory that we need. So I have 100 million rows I'm going to copy from on-premise into Azure. And I want to get a good way of doing it, right? So I hear this question a fair amount, that we simply struggle to copy rows from on-premise in a good way. So let's test. Let's see what we can do, right? So we're going to start out with creating our resource group. So I'm going to create a resource group, right? Resource group, and there we go. I'm going to select that. There's a resource group. I'm going to say create, and I am going to call it Azure Easy Share. Let's make it Easy Data, right? Azure Easy Data. That should be good. I'm going to use North Europe for this because it's cheaper there. And I'm going to say review and create. We're not too concerned about tags. I'm just going to say create, and that's going to create it for me. All right, so there we go. I'm going to go to the resource group. Next thing, I need a storage account. So I need some place to store the files. So storage account, there we go. It's prompted me up. I'm going to select storage account, and I'm going to say create. And we're going to give it a name. We're just going to call it Azure Easy Data Lake. Right? Rolls off the tongue. Right? Off of the tongue even, right? Rolls off the tongue. Azure Easy Data Lake. Right, so we're going to put this in North Europe as well. We want our data to be close to where the data factory is going to be and the resource group. So everything is going to go into North Europe, and this is not to pay cost by moving the stuff between the regions, right? It's as simple as that. I'm going to select standard, then I'm going to go to advanced. I want a lake, so therefore I'm going to enable the hierarchical namespace. Checking to make sure the TLS is in version 1.2. Don't need SFTP. I'm going to go to networking. I want to enable public access from all networks, and then I'm going to use Microsoft Network Routing. Next, data protection. I'm going to switch off the soft deletes. I don't need them for this testing. Right, we're good. Encryption. I'm just going to use the Microsoft keys. I don't have any tags. And then one thing I need to make sure is that I have locally redundant storage, right? Once again, just to save costs. For testing, I don't need globally redundant storage whatsoever. I just need local redundant storage. It's all about the cost, baby. Right, so next, we can go to review. It's going to go through the settings. I'm going to hit create. And off it goes. It's going to be creating the resource for us. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to skip or fast forward through this so we don't all have to see it. So let me just get myself out of the picture, and then we'll be forwarding right now. There we go. Validation passed. Now we hit create. And once again, we're just going to forward through this, right? No time to sit around for that, and nobody got time for that. Right, there we go. All done. Go to the resource. This is our storage account. There's our container. There's $logs in it. I'm going to add a container, and we're simply going to call it test, right? This is for test data. I don't need to give anyone access to it, so this is just going to be public access level. I'm going to say create, and now we are the proud owner of a new container in a storage account. Right, so let's see what we've done so far. I've created a resource group. I've created the data lake. And now in the resource group, I want to create another resource, and this is going to be a data factory. Right, there we go, data factory. I'm going to say create. Right, this is going to be in this resource group. I'm just going to call it Azure Easy Data Factory. That was not planned, in all honesty, right? I am going to switch it to North Europe. There we go. Definitely going to use version 2, definitely not version 1, although you can't select it. So why have a drop down when you can only select the one option in it? Right, git configuration, going to do that later, off camera. Networking is going to be a public endpoint, right? Not too fussed by that. Let's have a look at advanced. I'm not going to enable encrypting using a customer managed key. I'm just going to use the Microsoft key. Once again, no tags. Review and create. And then we wait. Oh, let me get myself out of screen again while I forward this. Bear with me. And that actually took a lot less time than I thought. So let's go to the resource. Here we are. I don't have much set right now in this. I have the Data Factory. I can launch the studio, and holy crap, that burns my eyes. So the very first thing I'm going to do is click this button, go dock. There we go. Welcome to the dock side. Right, so we have an empty Data Factory. We've got an authoring option, no pipelines. We've got monitoring up here and management. So the very first thing we want to do is set up an integration runtime. So we're going to go new, Azure self-hosted. I'm probably going to pause this because I have one set up that I need to unlink. And it's not going to make sense to just see it in this video, right? So it's self-hosted, continue. I'm going to call it MoBlack Home, right? MoBlack, that's also my wrapper name at night, if you don't know. MoBlack Home, I'm going to say create. And now it's going to give me a bunch of information, right? So you're going to see key 1 and key 2 here, and I can simply say, click here to launch the Experience setup for this computer, which I'm going to do, but I'll be pausing and then coming back when this is done. I'll also be regenerating these keys because you can see them here. So, you know, if you want to try your luck, good luck. All right, I'll be back now. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully use this time to grab a cup of tea. You want a cup of tea, governor? Yeah, that was a terrible British accent, I know. So what you can see is I have a self-hosted integration runtime set up, MoBlack Home. It says it's self-hosted and it's running. And before I continue, I recorded this whole segment and then had to delete it, so you'll probably see it in the repository of me adding stuff and then deleting them. Because I was recording and then the recording software hung and stopped recording. That was fun. There was a lot of jokes, a lot of action. You missed all of it. It's gone, never to be recovered. But let's see what we can do with what we have. So we've got our self-hosted integration runtime. I set up Git. You'll actually see here there's a Git repository. Azure Easy Data ADF demo, I'm pushing onto that. So you can see all of the changes and all of the messes that I've made, right? So all of the code is available there.